Hey everybody, I'm Bryan Mudd, a fan of South Plains politics. Here's your talking points for this week.
I'm Anna Warnicki in Washington. House Democrats and President Trump have finally reached a deal on the United States-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. I'll have that story coming up.
And one man's trash is another man's gold mine. Why one company thinks this abandoned building could be the key to kickstarting the region's newest cash crop.
From the studios of KMAC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Bryan Mudd.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Also this week, the right person for the job. The state and federal candidate filing period has come to an end, and the list is filled with people who think they're the perfect person for all those jobs, but sometimes the perfect leader is the one who knows how to surround themselves with the right people. An obvious example now seems to be Lubbock County. After all sorts of problems with NAG pathology running the medical examiner's office, county leadership decided to go in a different direction with the ME's job, and darned if it doesn't seem to be working. KMAC's Matthew Stell has an update.
It's been one of the most talked about stories in Lubbock this year, the medical examiner's office. And the new ME says his plan will get the office back on track.
Now we send our autopsies to Tarrant County. And so it's a whole new system, and overall things are working great.
First off, Lang says he's cleared a backlog that happened even before NAG was hired. It ran from 2013 to 2017, something he says won't happen again under his leadership.
There is no current backlog, nor will there ever be a backlog.
Next, Lang says the ME's office has cut the autopsy turnaround to and from Fort Worth, done in less than 24 hours.
They are the experts, and they do an outstanding job. They have 8 pathologists working 24/7.
Most importantly, Lang says the county and NAG pathology have a verbal agreement for the company to return biological pieces and 192 autopsy reports back to Lubbock. But there's no timeline on how long that process will take.
As soon as they come in, I've told the families I'm going to put on the coffee and pull an all-nighter to get them done.
And Lang's bosses, the Lubbock County Commissioners, say they're satisfied with the work he's done in such little time.
We make sure that we reestablish our relationship between Lubbock County, the medical examiner's office, and the people of Lubbock County. And so Dr. Lang has been doing that, been doing a fantastic job.
Matthew Stell, KMAC News.
All right, and we're so thrilled as always to have City Councilwoman Latrell Joy come and visit this week. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Oh, the announcement of your re-election campaign for a 3rd term recently. Was there ever a thought of not coming back to the council?
Yes.
with everything going on, though, you know, there's too much to leave, I suppose.
Everything that was going on, the needs that we have in the city and the projects that we have. And I think, you know, serving on the facilities committee, I'm a little more involved in what we are doing, and it's all going to benefit the citizens in the end.
Yeah, it'd be almost like stopping a book right in the middle if you
That's
decide
right.
to retire completely now, right?
I don't want to. There's no way you can go to the end and see what it looks like.
Right.
You know, you can take a book and read the last chapter, but I can't do that with this.
Well, a lot of it's the process and figuring all that out, and that's not the easy part either. We talk about a lot about public safety projects and Citizens Tower, of course. What are some other things that may not be in the headlines all the time that are important that you may be working on? I know you've been working on master plan stuff again, too, right? For
Downtown master plan, we've been working very hard on that because that report is due at the end of December, and that will be forthcoming. Former Mayor David Langston and I have co-chaired the homelessness committee, and we've been working on that since May, and that is about to have a report or recommendation come forward to the council. And we're talking about homelessness in general, not in one specific area, but the entire city.
Yeah, so what's that been like, putting that together and getting an idea of how big of an issue that is?
Well, what you have to do is bring all your community partners together, and that includes the Sheriff's Department, Lubbock Police Department, Star Care, UMC, Covenant, LISD.
Anyone involved in this in any way?
Yes, in any way, and it has all different effects on each of those entities. Fortunately, we live in Lubbock, and people do get together and work on a solution. There's not a solution to homelessness, but what can we do to make it better for the citizens and at the same time try to get the services that are needed for those people who are struggling.
Yeah. Now, we did get some of the expansion and renovation to the Burrow-Huffman complex that you've been talking about for a while. I think the last time you were on the show, we were talking about that. A big deal. Huge deal for a lot of families here.
It is a huge deal, and it's been one of the things that I very much have wanted to see from the time I came on in 2012, because the facilities were not kept, and it wasn't the fault of Parks and Recreation or anyone like that. It was a matter that there was no money being spent on it, and fortunately Market Lubbock stepped up, and in next year they will complete a 2-year project where they have replaced turf. They have completely replaced the irrigation system. They're putting in 4 artificial turf fields so that we can have tournaments, and then we can bring our tournaments back to Lubbock.
And good money back to town, too.
Yeah, that's an economic development issue. But it's for the kids.
Oh, sure. And some of that had been brought up in a past bond election that didn't happen. But there's talk of a new bond election, maybe, for some of the more high-dollar capital improvement projects the city has to come up. Where does that stand? Is that going to happen as a possibility yet? We know?
I don't think there's anything definite. There were some areas where we were looking at doing some things. You know, streets have been a big issue in Lubbock, street maintenance, and this council and the prior council have done better jobs of paying for those in cash. No debt funding and all this kind of stuff. No, we tried to get away from that, except for really big projects. You know, if you have to buy a fire truck, you know, you're going to have to do that. But just to debt fund, and then we're seeing some of our debt come down. You know, stormwater this year, we were able to reduce the rate, and I think that will continue. And so those are all things that, you know, I was involved in from the beginning. I was on the stormwater committee. It was a very volatile time because we were changing the way we were doing it. It was going to cost everybody more money, and it was pretty rough. But once we got it done, and
people saw it came back off the books, and they were like, oh, okay.
And I promised then, I said, we're going to reduce this debt as, you know, as it pays off. And so just exciting things for Lubbock. We're a great city. You just look around you.
And the growth is tremendous. I mean, we see that all the time. But with some of that growth comes the need for projects that do cost some money here.
That's right. And we've tried to get out ahead of services, because as we annexed property, we have to provide services. That means water and sewer and things that are really important.
And that means people on there, the city council, who kind of know what they're doing, have been in this for a while. Latrell Joy is one of them. Good luck to you coming back and doing the whole thing.
All right. Thank you.
Good to see you again.
You too.
And let's do this week's poll question. The Constitution says a person has to be at least 35 years old to be president, but would you support limiting the oldest age someone could be to serve as president? An age cutoff, if you will, here. Talk to us on our KMAC News Facebook page and on everythinglubbock.com. Just click on Talking Points and give us your opinion there.